very important session because it keeps you away from lunch. So, what I'm really excited that is, someone asked me earlier, how do you decide who's going to do this crazy thing of introducing people? It's like, many of us are in program committee and we get to pick. So I do pick coming and learning about PMO and excellence from this team here, and I'm really glad that we have top talent from Dell joining us today. So I hope you will enjoy it. I will introduce them as quickly as I can, reading from my notes. I apologize, I know that we're behind. So we have today Aki Hayashi, Senior Manager of the Globalization Program Management Office, also known as PMO for friends at Dell Technologies. She leads the team of program managers and oversees the globalization aspect of Dell's strategic programs, including a lot of things, marketing, digital, and events. She helps enhance global business landscape and customer journey, and in a world that is changing very fastly around technology.
Yep.
So she's based out of Boston, Massachusetts, that is in the US, and she's with Dell since 2008. That is something. And Wenola Tristram, I hope that I didn't mess up the importance of names. Globalization strategy also at Dell, also in the program management office. She supports transformation journey of the PMO, which is what we're going to be talking about today, transformation into a center of excellence, and acts as the globalization consultant for strategic stakeholders across the company. So I guess when someone has difficult questions, you educate them.
That's right.
All right. So Wendy's based in the UK, and she's with Dell since 2007. Yes. So we have two veterans who have seen a lot and are going to be sharing a lot today. So without further ado.
Thanks,
Sure.
Jose.
Thank you.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Gala, for having us.
Well, before we get started, we wanted to get a quick pulse check from the audience here. So Dell survey mentioned that about 6% right, of the audience here this year is from the PM organization, a program management organization. But we wanted to see how many of you are from actually project and program management organization today in here. Raise a hand. All right, that's a pretty good amount. Okay, how about who is from the leadership team who makes decisions? All right, well, that's good. And who's from the other function of localization then? Okay, all right, that's great. So well, this is about the localization project management transformation, and this is for all of you.
A few years ago, Dell started a very ambitious transformation and modernization journey, and still is on it. At our level in the PMO, we started to receive different types of requests, unusual requests, such as content and/or language strategy, benchmarking analysis, AI solutions for events, or for multimedia. With all the modernization and hyper-automation around us, we quickly realized, identified the need for change. Our PMO needed to evolve from a transactional project management role to a more strategic program role, oriented and focused on strategic engagement that are aligned with our stakeholders' goals and needs. And less than a year ago, remember, AI bubbled and surfaced in every single conversation. According to Gala's latest report, AI is a reality for 80% of the respondents, and we are not an exception here. So AI really accelerated our need to transform. And today, we're sharing with you our journey to survive, to serve, and to inspire. But before we can inspire, we really need a vision.
Well, stepping back a little bit, I guess, but first, I guess I should say, what does it even mean to be a strategic program manager and, strategically engaging with stakeholders, right? But then what is a PM's role? You know this, right? And it traditionally relied heavily on output, delivering the transition within the given scope. With a lot of routine work. We talked about that as well. And with that approach, we are not really contributing to the outcome, strategic outcome of the company or organization, right? And to elevate ourselves beyond our cost center. So, we need to distinguish ourselves. What is our unique value that our organization can bring to the table? That was the question. And our value added is in a strategic alignment, supporting our stakeholders' goals, and building competencies aligned with the business goals or business needs, including adding the AI skill sets into our PM toolbox. Now, the sense of urgency to modernize, right, and stay relevant, there are obvious sort of motivations for us from the business perspective, but it also came down to, our survival and existence of our team as well. With that context, we established this, sorry about the long context, but we established this 5-year plan with a clear vision to rebrand ourselves and evolve our team from a tactical project management to a strategic program management team that focuses on, outcomes with the alignment of goals. Obviously there's nothing wrong with being tactical and project managing, right? And then we need that sort of being tactical and get things done, obviously, but that's not where we needed to be as an organization to meet the changing needs. So, to give you a few examples of what we've done here, we set up a different target for each year for what we wanted to achieve. In 2021, we first have to conceptualize what it means to evolve from operational project managers to strategic program managers, promoting the idea of what that means to the team, our team, project management team, of why we needed to change and what it means to evolve. Starting with why is always helpful, as you probably know. And in 2022, we focused on interpreting our vision to visualize our role as a program management. And this is really identifying what the tangible differences are between project and program management and what the outcomes or the impact are as well. And in 2023, we materialized, so that was last year, sort of holding workshops and different kind of seminars to demonstrate the skill sets that we've acquired. And you see a couple more years left in this particular roadmap, to quantify our success and validate what we have done or what we've been doing is working. But we already identifying that the need to sort of reimagine ourselves with the rise of AI, and I'm sure there are more, we will encounter more sort of surprises along the way. But the idea here is to build the roadmap of our journey and find ways to promote the changes to the team and get them involved and excited about everything that is happening around us, instead of being fearful of changes to come. So now I'm going to step back a little bit. And before diving into that strategic planning and mobilization of the team, it was really important for us to establish a clear vision and a guiding principle, that would serve us as a North Star. This is it. We set our vision to become a trusted partner that empowers corporate globalization strategies. That is what we wanted to be known for. That is, our vision. And our mission then is to champion that success of our stakeholders. So understanding their strategies, their objectives, their success measure is, super critical, super important in finding our alignment with our goals, right? And our strategy to achieve that is by building a strong program management team that can have that level of strategic conversation with stakeholders, because it's not easy to have that difficult conversations with decision makers, right? And then ultimately building the globalization excellence that delivers not only corporate globalization strategies, but also bring operational excellence, cultivate innovation, and foster organizational and individual growth and development. Yes, we are ambitious. We know. I say setting the vision first is extremely important because sometimes you doubt yourself and wonder if you're doing the right thing, because it's not easy. And I've had a moment of doubt many, many times along, during this journey, which we're still on. But, coming back to this, our North Star, I'm always reminded that we are, in fact, doing the right thing. And, this is also helpful as a basis of our, aligning our internal goals within ourselves. A way to ground ourselves with all the competing priorities that we have to, or oftentimes, we have to juggle, right? And, if you go through this journey, or if you are going through this journey now, or similar transformation, you likely go through similar sort of moments of doubt or phase of doubt, I would say. But, this guiding star is what will ground you on the right path. And I highly recommend having something like that in your journey as well. So now that we've established our why and what, we have to deliver, right? And Gwen will walk you through the strategy of how we made it real and more tangible way that we communicate it to our team members.
Yeah, and the question we want to ask ourselves and answer, obviously, is what do we want to be known for? When you leave the room, what do you want people to say about you? So to answer that question, collectively we identified 4 strategic actions. And I'm going to give you concrete examples every time of what we have already started to do and we think is working. So first action, participate more visibly in Dell's global strategy. And how we have started to do it is by having a seat at the table and a voice in corporate level committees. And I can think of a language governance committee or a web governance committee. You might have that in your company that might be useful to be part of. By speaking the same strategic language as your stakeholders, and by leveraging the sponsors around you in all organizations, not just yours. The second action we have undertaken is to influence the processes by delivering data-driven recommendation, not just act on things, but really recommend things and provide consulting. How are we doing that? By building comparative analysis, for example, looking at what the competitors are doing on their website. Using our industry network, and this is also why we're here, by mapping an end-to-end customer journey in our global events, not just think interpretation or not just think translation of a flyer, but just the whole experience. A third action that we have undertaken is expanding our reach. We have heard other sessions yesterday talking about the same thing, and I'm happy it's already happening in the industry. So how are we doing that ourselves? By seeing beyond what is typically assigned to the PMO about localization, think beyond that. And for us, it can be accessibility, being in the conversation and with the decision makers of accessibility. Think SEO and findability of your website. Think Bill 96 in Quebec, for example. How do we enable that? Or expanding our footprint to organizations that typically we have underserved over time. Marketing is one of our biggest consumer, but think beyond that. You may have HR, sales, legal, compliance, trade, security, and they need us as well. The fourth action that we have undertaken is to provide impactful solutions, not just translation or interpretation outputs. So Aki mentioned earlier the urge to better serve the changing needs of our stakeholders. But how are we going to do that? We've started to do a couple of things. We are starting to anticipate the next moves of our stakeholders and showcasing to them the pros and cons of the possible solution that they can find out there, maybe for free in the beginning of the market. We have assessed them, we have linguists, we have AI guys, so we are pitching to them the benefits, the pros and cons, and we're trying to guide them, not leave them alone with AI on their own. By bringing also subject matter experts in the way we design our solutions. It's not just us, it's about maybe including stakeholders themselves, or looking into our supplier ecosystem where talents are as well and they can support us. By questioning the need to translate certain assets based on data, or user download, clicks, etc. Where are we now? Things are changing.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. Oops.
Can you go back a few
Yes.
slides? No, yeah, perfect, okay. Let me check where we are, because I'm a bit lost, sorry for that. Bear with me a minute. So expanding our reach. So yeah, going back there, providing solutions, yeah, thank you. Yeah. So it's about questioning why we are doing certain things, not just executing as well. So question, what is the strategy of our stakeholders for asking for a certain type of service, translation? What are they trying to achieve ultimately? And also, very important, understanding their technology constraints, their technology stack, what is their roadmap? Are they going to upgrade? We want to stay connected to that. We don't want to be left behind. To successfully transform our PMO, we identified 3 underlying conditions, without which nothing is going to be possible in our opinion. So the first one is to expand the project and the program knowledge. So it's really the knowledge, beyond the traditional ops metrics that we are asked to deliver and abide by. So think about expanding the PM network up to the decision makers, not just the people who gives you the file, but the people who are actually making the decisions behind that, the people who own the budget, for example. Visualize the end-to-end process of the content that we receive. It's created somewhere, it travels within the company and it ends up in the public. So we need to be aware of how can we plug ourselves in there to be more effective. Also, simple actions, difficult to achieve, but simple to think about. It's attend the stakeholders' all hands. Understand what are their goals, what are they talking about, what's hot for them at the moment. The second condition that we truly believe is important is eliminate the waste and reclaim the time of the productivity gains into innovation for ourselves. So we can't invest in knowledge gaining if we don't free up our time. We would have a conflict with our bandwidth. So it's about partnering with our suppliers and also the creative agencies, and to find and eliminate the friction, the manual interactions, for example. It's about also empowering our project managers internally to gain AI skills and play with it, develop scripts, dashboards, or also introduce standardization, which we don't have across the board yet. The third imperative condition is to inspire the team, and I would say I finished by that, but it's ultimately the most important one. We put in place a diversified set of learning tools and a practice framework, if you will, for the team members. And we have designed a strategic program management methodology. We have developed scripts, and we have also provided scenarios to make the team practice in a safe space, fail and try again, before they can have truly meaningful engagement conversation with their stakeholders. We organize project manager summits, to which we bring guest speakers, inspiring people so we can learn from outside what's happening there, and also workshops to them. We offer mentoring on a continuous basis, and not only within our team, but maybe other PMOs in the company that can have insightful things to bring. And we also have a training catalog. These tools that we have built and maintained for our team members, they're not static, and probably we will have to revisit them as we transform. Now, to impact the strategic decision makers, we need to talk their language. And so meaning that we cannot just talk about KPIs. We need to speak their language and their success measures. And a few of them really, when we try to, and we can access their data, that's much more powerful. That's a bit of a challenge. We're working on it. It's continuous. So it's about faster time to market, consistent customer end-to-end journey experience in all the interaction points, CSAT, brand loyalty, revenue, market share, and you can name many others. For us, AI has really changed how the PMO is perceived and how translation is consumed overall. So in order for us to remain relevant and be ready for any organizational change that we cannot control, we have to really change. So we are hearing, and we have heard yesterday in different sessions, that individuals should be self-driven and be aware of what they want to go next, etc., have a clear vision of their future. Well, that's a fair statement. We agree with that, but we also agree that our view is that we need to break down this vision that we have into understandable bits that team members can relate to project themselves. Ultimately, we want to retain our talents, really. So we looked at our competencies. Where are the gaps? What can we offer for them to grow and offer them a growth perspective in that new context of AI? And we have identified, you see that on the slide, 7 core skills in gray and 3 additional specialties. Obviously, project management, administration knowledge is like a no-brainer, obviously, and we demand that for even our junior to our senior team members. It's like the core. But then, if you want to elevate the conversation and be able to articulate strategic ideas and make a difference to our stakeholders, you need more. And that's why we have identified business acumen and stakeholder engagement as essential. And what does that mean specifically? It's about soft skills. So I have to wrap up, so I'm going to accelerate and skip a couple of things, but we'll be happy to be in details more later.
We do have a slide that explains a little bit more, so...
Yeah, and there's a takeaway for that, so you can move to the next step.
Okay.
But what we wanted to say is Aki has created a task force that encapsulates all the knowledge and the core skills that and the team can practice on this.
Sorry, just for everyone, we're gonna run until the top of the hour because we started late and it's not fair to them. So we'll have a little bit of time for questions, but just to make everyone aware,
Awesome,
even if you hear noise outside, this session will run until the top of the hour.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Yeah. So, so we said we can go. Okay. All right. So, all right. I just wanted to get a quick sort of pulse again, if you don't mind, from the audience. How many of you had an instance where your stakeholders are going elsewhere, right? I'm sort of reaching out to other companies or, providers for exploring AI solutions with other companies. Have you guys, without you guys knowing, have you had that experience? Okay. So, we had several instances as well. And, this is the kind of environment we are in. We have to fight that view that people can just use ChatGPT for translation and be done with it, right? And then, this is also an example of where we don't necessarily have a great level of relationship with our stakeholders. We're not talking about innovation, trends, solutions, offering solutions to the business sort of objectives and, priorities. So we are seeing that in those cases, stakeholders go elsewhere, seek information, if we don't proactively provide solutions for them. And then, we obviously can stop them from wanting to explore, right? And then, but what do we do to counter that? Our answer was sort of establishing this, AI task force that focuses on the 4 area of excellence. So, what AI solutions can we harness to optimize everyday operations? This is for us, to increase operational excellence. Gwen mentioned that a little bit. And what untapped potential lies in AI for stakeholders, not only for present needs, but for, future advancement, right? And, this is where we really have to focus on thinking about business use cases and solutions. What can we offer for stakeholders? And how do we effectively communicate those activities and insights, among ourselves and with our stakeholders? And what kind of AI skill sets, knowledge base, should project management acquire to make ourselves indispensable and relevant, right? And we're actively thinking about future role of PMO for ourselves in the longer term as well. And yesterday, Daniel Susskind talked about, training topic a little bit, right, among other things. And he said one of two ways to train people is to train them to build the system that they want the system to do. And this is like our version of self-made framework to train ourselves, really, with the AI. And this is also one tangible example of the outcome, how we made our vision real. And accelerate our transformation of the PMO team. So through this AI task force, we created a space for even the junior PMs on our team can contribute and collaborate and challenge the status quo and practice some of the skill sets, the soft skills that we are just talking about, right? And by adapting this AI trend to our day-to-day, we found a way to keep the spirit of innovation and stay relevant, and a way to elevate our role as a trusted advisor or partner to our stakeholders. And it is a journey. It's not something that will happen in a year, too, right? And we're not quite there yet, but we are moving forward with this.
Okay, so we want to leave you with a couple of takeaways. So the first one is really embrace innovation with confidence. Develop a clear vision. And pitch it. Have the courage to pitch it. Believe in your idea, structure a compelling business case, and make your plan viable and impactful. A second point is empower your team. Trust them. Nurture a space where they can grow their strengths and interest, and they feel trusted and empowered. 3, foster collaborative partnership. Cultivate collaboration with your stakeholders and secure executive sponsorship. Extend your alliances beyond your traditional translation roles. Focus on the output. And 4, anticipate future needs. Be on top of the curve. Focus on current requirements is really not enough. Adopt a forward-thinking mindset by envisioning the future needs of your localization area. And with that, we are open to questions, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.